Julie Hunt. Julie spent 25 years building a successful corporate career, only to be tossed aside and downsized. Devastated, bewildered, and without identity, she began her transformational journey and found herself pursuing more meaningful work. Her mission is to help you move from burnout, stagnation, or frozen in fear living to creating a balanced life you can't wait to jump out of bed and live every day. Julie became an Infinite Possibilities Certified Trainer in 2013. Julie Hunt.
Good wonderful afternoon, hippies in training, returning trainers, and those of you watching from home. All of you are already my favorite people because you gifted yourself with this training. So this afternoon, I want to share with you the power of baby steps, how to reframe fear, that there's no need for perfection, and how to let the universe bring it all to fruition. And of course, I have to also give you my favorite Andy Dooley tool and the science behind it. It was about 2.5 years ago. I sat right where you were. I was at an all-time low in my life, and I was sure I would never teach this material. I came to this training for myself. It was my last-ditch effort to find my mojo after losing a 25-year career that left me devastated. And Mike Dooley said one thing, he said a lot of things, but he said one thing that changed everything for me. He said, all you have to do is take baby steps to ignite the magic of the universe. Wow. All I had to do was take baby steps. Now, prior to this, I thought I had to take great, big, giant steps every single day to accomplish anything. I would put too many things on my task list. I would jump from one thing to the other, and at the end of the day, I would be extremely exhausted and have very little accomplished. I know none of you can relate to that, can you? I decided to stop that cycle and take baby steps, trusting that everything would be okay. When I left here, I was not only going to teach this material, but it was imperative that I get out and be a change agent in this world. I was ignorance on fire. I couldn't even contain my excitement. My husband said I was like a fart in a windstorm. And I sat in this training and I created my baby step task list, things I was going to do when I got home. I put on that list, set a date, create a list of people to invite to my class, send out an email, familiarize myself with the presenter's materials, create or identify personal stories that I could use with each session. Personal stories are those things that connect you with your audience. So for thoughts become things, I use this story about how I thought myself out of a job. And for the beliefs section, I tell about the story, how I had installed into me the belief that life was hard. And as an adult, what was returned to me were more life experiences that were hard. I also put on that list, read some of Mike's favorite books so I could better educate myself and feed my mind the right things. I put on there, join Toastmasters, start networking. And I set up coffee appointments, and before you know it, I had 2 classes on my calendar. I was only going for one. When you live the infinite possibilities principles, you look better, you feel better, you have more energy, and you age slower. And who doesn't want a little bit of that action? People signed up for my class like there was no tomorrow. They had no idea what they were signing up for. All they knew was they wanted to come to my class and have a little bit in their life of what I had in mind. And if you've seen When Harry Met Sally, I think you all can relate to that. After those 2 classes were set, I have to let you know, I let fear creep into my thoughts. And I poured through those materials. I read Mike's book until it was ragged. I'm so glad I got a new one this weekend. And I decided to reframe fear to, you might want to write this down, fully engage all resources. Fully engage all resources. I held my first class in my living room. I used an easel with a white pad on it to write key points and draw pictures for those that needed pictures. And because I set my date to be only about 2 or 3 weeks out, there really was no time for perfection. So I had to make some decisions, and I decided just doing the class alone was perfection. I also decided that speaking from my heart and following those materials are what really made it perfect. It's a turnkey operation, just waiting for you to ignite it with your passion and your excitement. And this is what I tell my clients about perfection, and I believe this is true for all of you as well. Stop striving for perfection. You were born perfect, and that box has been checked, and it cannot be unchecked. And I am a recovering perfectionist. Thank you, Regina Garapi. Now you can imagine that once you go home from something like this, all of a sudden those subconscious limiting beliefs start to come up, like there's no tomorrow, kind of like the geyser. And I had to have a tool that would help me with that, and Andy Dooley gave me Stop, Cancel, Clear. And the way I visualized Stop, Cancel, Clear in my mind was that, you know, every time we have a thought, it travels through the neural pathways in your brain. And it always comes to a fork in the road, and it can go right or it can go left. And those automatic subconscious thoughts, they automatically turn left. They don't even acknowledge that fork in the road. So when you say stop, you're telling that thought to stop at the fork in the road. And when you say cancel, you're saying cancel that automatic left turn. And when you're saying clear, you're saying clear a new pathway to the right. It is a conscious way for you to deal with limiting beliefs that have been holding you back in your life. It is possible for you to go from here today to go home. Be that ignorance on fire. Reframe fear. Let go of perfection. Let the universe bring you the how. And you can do whatever stirs in your heart. I started my own company. Regina told you what it did earlier. I call myself a hope dealer, and all my deals are above the table. I tell you that because every one of my programs is based on the principles that I learned in this room. You can go home and you can create a business with this. You can do any type of class, any type of workshop, and work with any type of person, any group of people. They are universal principles. When you walk out that door on Sunday, you will have been ippyized. You will no longer be the same person that walked in here on Thursday. And I encourage you to listen to whatever it is that's stirring in your heart, and what do you want to do with this once you return a changed person. Is the vision going to be a little scary and a little big? Yep, sorry, that's what we do here in IP. We play big. Do you have to worry about that part? No. What you have to do is you have to be the one that has the vision, the passion, the excitement, takes the baby steps, and the universe will always bring you the how. Everybody has two choices when they walk out of this room on Sunday. You can take that beautiful notebook that all of us on the team put together for you, and you can throw it in a corner in your house, and you can say, someday I'll get to that. Or you can fully engage all resources and choose to live the IP principles and or teach them. Let me help you with this decision. When you live the IP principles, you look better, you feel better, you age more slowly, and you have more energy. What's going to be your choice?